next we'll go through a progression here we call prancing. You can definitely come up with your own name if you don't like that. So the goal is to keep the pelvis level, the hip bones level. Sometimes for the first round I like to put the elbows on the floor and feel the hip bones to make sure they're staying still. And that's to ensure that we're stabilizing the spine. So all we're going to do is try to lift one leg into a tabletop position. That means the thigh is straight up and down, shin is parallel to the floor. So we'll slowly lower that leg down, release it onto the floor completely, and then lift the other leg. So I'm just listening with my fingers to feel for the drop of the hip and try to prevent it from happening. Okay, so if we're going to go to the next step, you're going to want to take your hands to the floor at this point, lift the legs to tabletop, and now we're going to tap one toe and lift it back up. And tap the other and lift. It's always good to check in as you're doing things like this to make sure you're keeping your breath flowing full and deep. I tend to want to curl the shoulders as I struggle a little bit, so I always try to keep the chest nice and relaxed and open. Okay, so we can move the feet at the same time. They'll pass each other in space as we move. The next step would be to flex the ankles and tap the heels down. And the next step from there would be to stretch one leg long as we pull the other knee toward the chest. You can tap the floor if you can do that again without losing your neutral spine, but if you start to arch your back like crazy, then you want to just take it wherever you can without doing that. Okay, and we'll take your feet back down. Give yourself a little break. That's actually a lot more strenuous than it seems like it should be. So we'll lift the legs to tabletop next for what we call butterfly knees. We just float the knees out to the sides like we're doing a straddle stretch with bent legs. And then we just pull to bring the shins back together. And we float it out. And then you certainly can do this with straighter legs, floating out, taking a straddle stretch, and pulling the feet back together. And you can, of course, hang out in that stretch as long as you like. From this same position, we can go into circles. You might want to drop the heels toward your bum. And we'll just circle the knees. Again, the goal is to maintain this neutral spine, a little tiny space into your low back, which should mean that the pelvis is level on top. And we'll go the other direction. Again, if you'd like to make this a lot more challenging, you can do it with straight legs. And you can keep the circle as small as you need to in order to stabilize. And you can start to get bigger and bigger as you kind of figure out your limits. Okay, so let's try some roll-ups. Okay, next we're going to roll up to seated. And we're going to try some curl backs. So you want to move your legs into a position where you can get your posture nice and upright. This is going to be a little bouncy. You might want to separate your feet a little bit to kind of help with that. So we're going to round the spine and curl back. And you're just going to go as far as you can, keeping your feet on the floor and keeping the spine in this round shape. We're going to curl to bring the shoulders over the hips and sit up nice and tall. So if it's a little uncomfortable in your tailbone, you want to really make sure to scoop that tailbone under the body so that you're on the back of the pelvis rather than right up on the tailbone. So we round and curl. Curl, shoulders come over the hips, sit up tall. A good thing to watch for here is that we're not caving in the shoulders and the chest. We don't need to reach and cave. You can keep those shoulders relaxed away from the ears while rounding your spine, although it's hard for some of us to figure out. Okay, so we're going to add some arm sweeps. Again, it gets real bouncy here, so we're going to round the spine, curl back, just as far as you can maintain. Sweep one arm, look at it. Sweep the arm back in. Curl to come forward and sit up tall. And round and curl. Sweep the arm and look. Sweep it in. Curl forward, sit up tall. I tend to do 3 on each side here. Again, we want to make sure to try to keep the shoulders relaxed. Let's go one more time each way. Always maintain the flow of the breath. Okay, next we'll try roll down, roll ups. Okay, so we're going to round and curl to roll all the way down. You can bring those arms up above the head. So we'll take an inhale. Okay, roll ups. Inhale, bring the hands up toward the ceiling. Exhale, we're going to reach for the feet and roll up. Roll-ups. So I do a version where we assist ourselves with the arms because I can't do it without the arms. Doing it without the arms, you would just, I guess, start with those feet on the floor. You take an inhale, lift the fingers toward the ceiling. Exhale, roll up to seated. Here's the way I do it because I can't quite do that. So I take an inhale, exhale, tuck the chin, start to roll up, and use the arms behind to help come up nice and tall. Inhale here, exhale, we'll round and curl again, sweeping those arms out for a little help to make it smooth, and arms above the head. Inhale, exhale, we'll tuck the chin, sweep those arms, give a little bit of assistance to come up and sit up tall. Inhale here, exhale, round and curl to come down. So of course you can do as many of those as you like. If you want, you can also turn this into a teaser, which makes it a little more challenging. So I like to really stretch long to start. Take an inhale, exhale, circle those arms, tuck the chin to roll just like before, and you can bring the legs up to either bent or straight is a little bit harder.